Welcome back to How This Mom Does It, and today I'm going to be sharing with you our science curriculum for the 2017-2018 school year. If you're interested in seeing what we're going to be learning this year, stay tuned. So for the 2017-2018 school year, we're going to be using elemental science, earth science, and astronomy for the grammar stage. We did use elemental science last year. We did the biology for the grammar stage, which is basically your life sciences. It's animals, human body, and plants. And we did like it, so we decided to continue on this year. Basically how elemental science is set up, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. But basically it's book-based or encyclopedia-based. So they have a certain number of books that you're required to either purchase or get from your library. And it tells you on what days, what to read on certain pages, and gives you projects. You do narrations. It has quizzes. And then you can also purchase coloring pages and lap books. So I went ahead and purchased the coloring pages and the lap books in addition to the ebook. So we did go with the ebook again this year. So basically the ebook for about $30, you get the teacher's guide, the student workbook, and the quizzes. And then I purchased for, I believe, about $5 extra each PDF. I got the coloring pages for $5 and then the lap books for about $5. So they even have deals sometimes on their website where you can get it even cheaper. But for me, I feel like that's a good deal. I was able to get the printed copy of the student workbook last year from our charter school. And my daughter did like having the just a regular printed book. But my preference really is to have it printable and be able to put it in our monthly work binders. It just works better for me. And especially having two kids doing it this year, I think that will definitely work a lot better for us. So my son, who is my TK/kindergartner, he will just be doing the coloring pages. And my daughter, who is my second/third grader, will be doing the entire curriculum. So she'll be doing the narrations, the coloring pages, the quizzes, and all of that. They do give you science experiments, and we may do some of them. I didn't purchase the science experiment book that they recommended. We didn't really do them last year, so I didn't purchase it this year, but they do have that component to it if you'd like that. I decided to do my own science experiments, and I have lots of kits that I want to go through, so we're going to be using those. And then we're also going to be in a science co-op this year, and they're using a different curriculum, and I'm basically going to be using that as our science experiments for the year. So I'm doing a couple different things. But that is the curriculum we're going to be using, and everything else you see here is, for the most part, books that I've just picked up to go along with what we're going to be learning this year. And other than the required books, I did purchase those new. There's like 4 or 5 books, which I did have to purchase. The rest of these I got used. So basically everything you saw here, I spent probably about $1. Sometimes less on them. Some of the bigger encyclopedias, maybe $2, but I never spend more than $2 for a book that I get used, and pretty much everything was used. And then the kits in the back and things like that, I've been collecting because I knew we were going to do earth science this year. So people have given us some of these. Some of them are Christmas gifts. Some of them I just got deals on and picked them up as I saw them on sale. So I will go ahead and get into the curriculum, what it looks like, and all the extras we're going to be using this year. So this is my monthly work binder, and this is actually how I organize the majority of our work, especially for a printable curriculum like elemental science. I have a science tab, and I just keep everything in there. So I will basically have all the work printed and in the book for the month. And then I'll just take out whatever she's working on that day or that week and put it on a clipboard or in her weekly work binder. And then once she's completed something, she gives it back to me, and I grade it and file it back in the binder, and it's all here and ready to go, so I know where our work is. At any given time, I don't have to pull things. So that's how I organize our work. I'll go ahead and show you. And I do print 4 weeks at a time because we go through a charter school, and that's how we report back to them basically about every 4 weeks. So I print 4 weeks at a time, so I'm not doing a huge amount of printing as well. I just print the ones I'm going to need, and then the next month I print the rest that I'm going to need. The lesson plans are set up by week, and it shows you per week the supplies that you need, books that you're supposed to be reading, and gives you additional reading if you'd like to. They usually have questions you can ask, and poems that you memorize, and all kinds of activities and things that you can add on. You can really make this as simple or as detailed as you want to. You can add lots of activities, or you can just read the book and do the questions and the narrations and the quizzes, and you're still learning. So you really can customize it to many different learning styles and schedules, and I really like how it's laid out. In the teacher's guide, it also gives you a schedule. So you can see a 2-day schedule and a 5-day schedule. Sometimes we usually do the 2-day, but sometimes I'll break it up a little bit differently. But I like that it has the check mark. So what I do on my lesson plan spreadsheet is I just take from this what we're supposed to be reading, and I log it in. So as we complete something, I just highlight it off on my lesson plan, and that works really well for me. It's really easy. So when we're going through her work for that week, I just pull out this and I staple it so I can just pull out that specific week's teacher's guide. And then I'll pull out her work. So it's usually the narration pages, and they look like this. And then there's usually some kind of science experiment lab report. And then the coloring pages that we chose to add in, and then a quiz. So that's what a 1 week's work looks like. And I will show you a quick glance at the table of contents of the teacher's guide. It gives you the required book list, additional books listed by week, and supplies listed by week. And then it shows each week what topics they're going to be covering. And I use this because I like to go through the books that we have in our home library, because we have a huge collection of books. So I will just go through and see what we're going to be studying each week, and then go through the books and log them into my lesson plan for that week. So that's how I determine what we're going to be reading in science for that week. And that way we stay on topic, but we're still going through all the books that we have. So that is a quick glance at elemental science. If you're wanting to see something more in depth or have any questions, like I said, this is our second year doing it, so I feel pretty comfortable with it. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will try to get to those questions. And now I'll go ahead and show you the required books. For the required reading, there actually are some options. Depending on the age and reading level of your child, they have a separate list for grades 1 through 2, and then a separate list for grades 2 through 4. So if you have 2 different children using the same curriculum, you can choose books that are at their level, or you can just choose one set or the other. I elected to go with the 1st and 2nd grade choices because I saw that they were using the Basher books, and my daughter loves these. We have the Rocks and Minerals book, and she reads it for fun, so I knew that she would be excited, and she was when she saw them. And I'll show you a quick flip through. It's got some fun pictures, and explain things in a cute and fun way. So I knew she would really like this. So we got the Planet Earth, What Planet Are You On? And the Astronomy, Out of This World. And then another required book for her age group was the Nat Geo Kids Rocks and Minerals Level Reader. And then Glow-in-the-Dark Constellations, a field guide for young stargazers. And this has some fun little illustrations, and it talks about the different constellations. And then both age groups do a biography report on Neil Armstrong at the end of the year. And they suggested the Who Was book of Neil Armstrong. And it says you could use pretty much any biography that you find on Neil Armstrong, but they suggested the Who was, and I went ahead and picked it up because we really like this series. So that was an easy choice for us. So that's what we picked up. And then they also have the science experiment books to choose from, and I just selected to go with what I already have. So those are the required reading books for the elemental science, and now I'll show you all the fun extra books. In addition to the books that elemental science requires, my son, who is my TK/kindergartner, will be reading through a few of the first encyclopedias from Usborne. He's going to be reading the first encyclopedia of space and the first encyclopedia of our world, so we'll be going through those. And I really like the Usborne first encyclopedias. They've got a lot of really nice illustrations, and it's written in a way that's really easy for them to understand. So he's going to be reading through some of those. I also have some beginning chapter books for my daughter to read. We like the Magic School Bus chapter books. So she's going to be reading Twister Trouble, Space Explorers, and Voyage to the Volcano. And then for fun, I also have one of the Flat Stanley books, Stanley in Space. So those are a few of the beginning chapter books that she's going to be reading this year. Just themed picture books. I like to incorporate regular story books that go along with the theme that we're learning about in different subjects. So these are themed picture books that go along with our science themes. I find that it really helps the topics come alive for the kids. So I like to incorporate picture books and themed stories as well. So this is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Why the Sun and the Moon Live in the Sky, A Rainbow of My Own, The Cloud Book. This is just a little phonics reader I had on the moon. Finding Out About Deserts, and that's an Usborne book. Let's Look at the Seasons Springtime. Let's Look at the Seasons Wintertime. And this is like a little picture book about wind. And this is Snowflake Bentley. And this is one of my son's 5 in a row books, actually, so it kind of went with the theme. This is My Light by Molly Bang. And I have 3 of the Welcome to books by Jane Yolen. This one is Welcome to the Greenhouse, Welcome to the Sea of Sand, and Welcome to the Ice House. And I really like these storybooks. They've got some really nice illustrations. I'll flip through real quick. Let's see. So I have a couple of those. And we really like the Magic School Bus books, so I have a couple of those. I have On the Ocean Floor, Lost in the Solar System, In the Arctic, At the Waterworks, Out of This World, and Inside the Earth. And some of these have videos that you can watch to go with them. So I will be looking for the videos that go along with the books that we're reading, in addition to just reading the picture books. I really like the Gail Gibbons books, so whenever I see them used, I pick them up. And I have Stargazers, Weather Words and What They Mean, The Reasons for Seasons, The Moon Book, and Sun Up, Sundown. Another series I like is the Let's Read and Find Out books. And I have several of those. I have What Will the Weather Be? The Big Dipper. The Sky is Full of Stars. The Planets in Our Solar System. What Makes Day and Night. Journey into a Black Hole. Earthquakes. Volcanoes. Fossils. The Moon Seems to Change. The Planets in Our Solar System. Archaeologists Dig for Clues. Let's Go Rock Collecting. And then this is a book about the constellations. So this is The Way of the Stars. I have several leveled readers and just easy picture books. I have the Rookie Read About Science Astronauts, the Usborne Beginners Sun, Moon, and Stars, Usborne Beginners Volcanoes, the Solar System, the Sun, Planets, Moon, and Fun Facts. This is a leveled reader about Apollo 13. This is the Usborne Book of Space Facts. I have Smart Words Readers, Rocks and Minerals, Smart Words Reader Volcanoes, and then another little picture book about volcanoes. I have Look to the Night Sky, An Introduction to Star Watching, Exploring the Night Sky, the Equinox Astronomy Guide for Beginners. I have a Scholastic Science Dictionary, and I hadn't really seen one of these before. It's just a dictionary. It does have some nice illustrations in it, but it's not an encyclopedia. So when I saw that used, I went ahead and picked that up. I thought it was kind of neat. Eyewitness Books, Rocks and Minerals. Eyewitness Books, Volcano and Earthquake. This is a DK book, Look Inside Volcano, and this is pretty cool. It's got pop-ups and flaps. Let's see. My kids actually have looked at this before, and they really like this. This was a gift, so that's a cool one. Insiders, Volcanoes, and Earthquakes, and this has some really nice illustrations in it too. So I have another Basher book. It's the Rocks and Minerals, a gem of a book. And this was not a required reading from the list. This is actually a book we already had, and my daughter really likes this book, so we'll be rereading that. 8 Spinning Planets, and this is just a cute kind of board book that I thought my son would enjoy. The Usborne Internet-Linked Introduction to Weather and Climate Change. Usborne Understanding Geography, Earthquakes and Volcanoes. The Usborne Internet-Linked Library of Science, Earth and Space. DK Eyewitness, Rocks and Minerals. Extraordinary Wild Weather. The Usborne Book of Wild Places. The First Encyclopedia of Science, that's an Usborne book. And this is a One Small Square book, The Night Sky. So in addition to the earth science themed books that we're going to be reading, both of my children are going to be reading Christian Liberty nature readers. And I don't have the kindergarten book out. I forgot to pull it out, but my son has the kindergarten version, and my daughter is in book 3. She's already read 1 and 2. So both of my children are going to be reading those. I really like this series, so I didn't want to skip it this year. I wanted to make sure that we continue on. So that is something else they're going to be reading this year. So this is the Amazing Earth Model book, and I did pick this up used. My daughter loves to do crafts, and basically this is an earth science craft book. So it's got a bunch of activities you can do and things you could make. So I thought that I don't know that my son would really enjoy it, but definitely my daughter would enjoy doing some of the crafts out of this book. I also have several kits and projects that we're going to be doing. I have this Star Wars Science Lightsaber Crystal Growing Lab. That was a gift, and my kids have been really excited about this. I've been holding them off opening it, but we're going to be doing that. We have the Moonscope and Stargazers Activity Journal. My daughter got this for Christmas, as well as the microscope, so we will be using those. We also have the Uncle Milton 3D Star Theater, and that was also a gift. And then I have the Solar System Planetarium that we're going to make. And I have 2 mineral science kits. I believe I got these on Oriental Trading, and I either got them on clearance or it was like a super sale or something. And I've had these for, I think, 2 years waiting for earth science. I have another crystal growing kit. My daughter loves growing crystals, so we'll be doing that. I purchased these constellation lacing cards. So you basically, it gives you the laces and different cards for constellations, and you get to connect the dots. and I got that on Oriental Trading. I have 2 of these crystal excavation kits, or rock excavation kits, and I believe I got these in the Target dollar spot. I have a Linkology card game, and this is learning resources, and I got this on like a super sale, so I'm not sure if they still have it, but you link up the pictures with the vocabulary, and there's like a game that goes with it. And then I also have, actually I have 2 of these, but I could only find one right now. They're little mini volcanoes, and I got these at Target, but they were actually in the like where the crayons and like Crayola and that type of thing, where I'm not sure why they were there, but that's where I saw them. And then I also have the CD Galileo and the Stargazers, as told by Jim Weiss. This is actually part of our history curriculum, but it's also part of our science curriculum because it goes along with astronomy. So we will be listening to that. And then I have safety glasses, because when you do science, you have to wear safety glasses. So my kids each have several pairs of safety glasses that they like to wear when we do science. So those are some of the things that I have to add. And lastly, I have a few posters that we're going to be referring to. I have rocks and minerals, and this I ordered off of Rainbow Resources. I have geography terms that I ordered off of Rainbow Resources. And then I have the solar system, and this was actually given to us. So I have those posters we're going to be using during our studies. Our science curriculum for the 2017-2018 school year. We're going to be using elemental science, earth science, and astronomy for the grammar stage, in addition to lots of books, projects, and activities. If you have any questions about anything you've seen today or the curriculum, please leave it in the comments below, and I will try and get to any of the questions that you might have. I hope you like this video. If you do, click like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.